Welcome to the first episode of Season 4, Episode 1. This is Yellow Chair Collective, the podcast. First things first, we need to talk about a disclaimer. This episode is for informational purposes only. It's not a substitute for your clinical help. Please do not disregard clinical advice as a result of this presentation. We strongly advise that you seek the advice of a medical professional before ever making any clinical decisions about your health. So, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about three things. One, the basics of mental health, what it even is for people that sort of know what therapy is for, what talk therapy is for, but want a holistic view of the benefits of mental health treatment. The number one limiting belief that often keeps people away from seeking mental health care, and why self-care is productive. Oftentimes as therapists, we love to teach self-care to our clients because we believe that coming away with skills is far more important so that you can develop a healthier lifestyle. Because just like school, if you don't do your homework, you're not going to have an applied understanding of what's actually happening within the scope of our 1 hour treatment. We want you to leave with the gift of self-care. And that's why we say self-care is productive, because it helps you move forward as a person. So we want to provide accessible mental health education. As the outreach coordinator, I meet a ton of people at events that are hosted by other organizations, and we often get a lot of questions about the basics of mental health care. And so that's why we have this podcast. We want to have an open discussion about mental health and the benefits of listening. On this podcast, we create a safe space to talk about our mental health journey, share resources, and connect with one another in a supportive environment. We would love to invite you to join us on more episodes like these to explore the nuances of mental health and create a welcoming community for all of us. So I want to sort of start out with a lot of what studies are already saying about mental health. So in a 2012 study done by the American Psychological Association, they found that psychotherapy is extremely effective, the ability to sit down and talk to someone, but it's often underutilized. A 1997 study, so even 30 years prior to the point of this presentation, an organization studied the economic impact of psychotherapy, how it actually led to hospitals and other institutions having to utilize less resources because therapy acted as a preventative service. Therapy has also been shown to be effective on suicide risk and reducing a lot of the risk of people dying by suicide. And so wanted to give you those studies as a quick overview. Other findings have shown that therapy is effective in mental and behavioral health issue prevention. So for a lot of people, they don't know that oftentimes mental health can be tied to long-term chronic health effects like heart disease and diabetes. Therapy can also improve work functioning, decrease psychiatric hospitalization. This is a study done by the American Psychological Association in 2012. Psychotherapy teaches patients life skills that last beyond the course of treatment. The results of psychotherapy tend to last longer than psychopharmacological treatments and rarely produce harmful side effects. And so those are just some of the studies from the APA, one of the most national acclaimed, recognized websites in the psychological community. Now, let's try to answer what mental health is. Mental health is a field of study that focuses on understanding and improving the mental well-being of individuals. And so this graph is just a very general overview of what encapsulates mental health. And so mental health isn't just studying how you think. It also studies the basics of human behavior, how you think affects how you feel, and your social well-being. It studies the mental processes and behavior of humans and works to prevent, diagnose, and treat mental illness. Mental health also works to promote positive mental health and well-being by developing strategies like positive coping skills and stress management. And as previously discussed, the benefits of mental health include improving your social functioning, increasing your quality of life, and better overall mental and physical health. And so in turn, I wanted to provide more of a study from the CDC, the Center of Disease and Control Prevention. And this article that I'm quoting is called About Mental Health. And so the consequences of not treating your mental health is untreated mental health symptoms may put you at risk for many types of physical health problems, particularly long-lasting conditions like diabetes, heart disease, and stroke. Similarly, the presence of chronic conditions can increase the risk for mental illness. So oftentimes when people go into therapy, they go in because of a variety of reasons, and this is just a very small scope of what some people go in for. Some people may need help with coping with daily life. They might have been impacted by a traumatic event, a car accident, or a really big capital T trauma, as we like to call it in therapy, or a little t trauma. We can go into that in future episodes. Some people go in due to a recent medical diagnosis or a loss of a loved one, getting diagnosed with a specific mental health disorder like depression and anxiety. And quick note about this, sometimes newness can cause anxiety and depression because life transitions can also be seen as a form of grief. And so oftentimes these events can affect our symptoms. It can result in sleeplessness, tension in the shoulders and back, some throbbing headaches, nightmares, frequent irritability. Diabetes and heart disease, as I've said before, can be a result of mental illness. So another study that I want to reference is from Harvard Business Review. One of the things that you learn in therapy is emotional intelligence and self-awareness. And so self-awareness, management, how to regulate your emotions. It can increase your social awareness, turning others' emotions into a sense of connection, and social management. It can also increase your influence and help you interact with others in a more healthy way. Now, given all of the benefits that I've already told you, one thing keeps people back from even seeking mental health treatment, even if they know that they need it. And that is this: the belief that therapy is for crazy people. Now, there's a lot of stigma that surrounds mental health care, because some people that live in third world countries, their only context of psychiatric treatment is in the context of a hospital or in the context of people who wait until they need to be hospitalized to get therapy. And I want to talk about this for a second, because therapy does not mean that something is wrong with you. Therapy, as discussed before from the variety of studies, therapy develops self-awareness. Therapy increases emotional intelligence. Something doesn't always have to be wrong to go to therapy. Therapy can also be a preventative problem from long-term marital issues or long-term health issues. Anxiety has been shown to result in throbbing headaches and the inability to focus. And so it's actually a form of preventative care more than it is for crazy people, which is very stigmatized. And so in therapy, one of the things that you'll learn is the principle of self-care. Oftentimes people think that self-care is anti-productive and that it's not helping anybody, but studies have also shown that self-care can actually increase productivity. And so let me show you some more studies around that. According to Mental Health First Aid, a 2022 study has shown that engaging in a self-care routine has been clinically proven to reduce or eliminate anxiety and depression, reduce stress, increase happiness, and more. It can help you adapt to changes, build stronger relationships, and recover from setbacks. In a sample size study done in 2020 via Vigaro, the top stress relieving activities in this population of 2,000 was that 40% found at-home spa rituals very helpful, others used manicures, others used working out at the gym, and 28% said that going outdoors was really a stress-relieving form of relief. And 75%, meaning that 3 in 4 people, found that self-care provided them with relief. And here are some of what people said that the benefits of their self-care was. They had more self-confidence, they increased their productivity, and they increased their happiness. And so 3 things I want to recap in this short episode. Mental health isn't just understanding how you think. It's all encapsulating. It helps examine how your thoughts affect your emotions, which affect your relationships and your actions. It helps understand your social, emotional, and physical health. Second, therapy is not for people that are crazy. Therapy is for people that are really smart because it helps prevent against long-term illnesses, according to some epidemiological studies. And finally, self-care is productive. Now, before we close this episode, I want to provide you with a quick 3-step self-care formula. Now, first, identify what's not working. It might be overthinking. It might be not being able to make a decision. It might be waiting until you're really, really hungry to actually eat. And so I would encourage you to do more of what keeps you healthy. Ideally, healthier habits like exercise, eating regular meals every single day, being able to rest when you need to rest. And finally, number 3, seeking accountability. Being able to have community and therapy often helps us take one step forward in our mental health journey. And so, thank you for listening to Yellow Chair Collective Podcast, Season 4, Episode 1. Today was titled Therapy Basics. We have more goodies coming up for you. We have guest episodes, actually 5 of them already scheduled and queued up for you. We have a new episode coming out every Thursday, and here is an overview of what you can expect. We're going to go over EMDR Therapy 101, Art Therapy 101, what is couples therapy and who benefits from it, the difference between therapy and coaching, and Therapy for Asian Americans 101. So thank you for listening. This was Yellow Chair Collective, the podcast. My name is Helen Garcia, a psychotherapist at Yellow Chair. You can follow us on YouTube at Yellow Chair Collective, Instagram and TikTok at Yellow Chair Collective, and our website, yellowchaircollective.com. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you soon.